Becky's here with my book of bugs. We've been reading a lot of bug books lately, and here's a new one. All right. There are millions of bugs all around us. Some are easy to see, and others are good at hiding. They come in many different sizes, shapes, and colors. Do you know any tiny bugs? Our first category, there are a bunch of tiny bugs. Tiny bugs. Aphids are as tiny as this period. So that little tiny dot right there, that little tiny dot right there. Aphids are that tiny. Ladybugs are as small as your thumbnail. Thumbnail. Oh, another one is pinky. Okay, so thumbnail, your little thumbnail, so probably my pinky. Because that's about right. That's probably what I did it. So, the aphid, that little tiny one, the size of a little dot, is a baby green fly. It is tiny, but it destroys plants by sucking up their juices. So the ladybug eats it. The ladybugs they're good for gardens because the ladybugs, baby green flies. Here, we'll talk about it more in just a little bit, all right? So the ladybugs are so helpful for our gardens because the ladybugs eat those aphids, those baby green flies. It says, the ladybug is small, but it has a nasty taste. Its bright color warns enemies, like birds, to leave it alone. You don't want to eat it. This is a picture. They're usually teeny. These are usually smaller than that little dot there. It's a house dust mite. The house dust mite is hard to see. It lives in houses and is carried around by dust. So if you ever see dust in the air, sometimes these little bugs live on those little tiny specks of dust, and they're gross. It says house dust mites are smaller than this little period there. This is called a thrip. The tiny thrip has 4 wings, but can't fly very well. It likes to suck the juice from leaves. Thrips are as tiny as a little dot, one of those little. Pygmy blue butterflies are as small as your thumbnail. The pygmy blue butterfly is the tiniest butterfly in the world. Do you know any sparkling bugs? Sparkling bugs. Sparkling bugs. The orchid flower mandids are the same size as the palm of your hand here. The sparkling orchid flower mandid looks like the flowers it is named after. That is one colorful looking bug. I have never actually seen that one. But we have seen this one, this one calls it a flower chafer. We have a rose chafer in our classroom. The flower chafer is shiny and brightly colored. It chews the petals of flowers. Is it chafer? I just said chafer. Do you know any wriggly bugs? Wriggly bugs, that's funny. We'll find out about those a little bit later. So we have flower chafers, stink bugs, and leaf bugs are the same size as your eye. Oh my goodness. All right, we'll be very safe, please. The uranid moths are the same size as your palm, the inside of your hand here. The uranid moth is not like other moths. It has large, colorful wings and flies during the day, so we would call it a butterfly, but it's actually a moth. The leaf beetle has a shiny wing case. It looks beautiful, but it destroys plants and crops. Oh, look at this one. Keep away from this guy. The colorful stink bug leaves a trail of horrible smelling liquid behind it. Oh my goodness. So do you know any wriggly bugs? Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Oh, there's some wriggly bugs. Let's see. You want to see some wriggly bugs? We can read this together too when I'm finished. Here, come on. You can come through the gate, or we'll look at it together a little later. Wriggly bugs. The praying mantis is hard to see among leaves. It crawls very slowly, but it can move its front legs quickly to grab food.
What's wiggly?
These are wriggly bugs. This is a praying mantis.
Roly-poly.
Yeah, it looks like a roly-poly. This one's a little different. It is rolled up like a roly-poly. This one's called a millipede, and it rolls up like a roly-poly. Well, we'll talk about that. The millipede has between 45 and 300 pairs of legs to help it wriggle along. When in danger, it curls up. Millipedes can be as long as an adult's foot. So as big as your mom or dad's feet are, that's how long they can be. This is a mealworm. We did those when I was in kindergarten. We all had our own little mealworm in class. The mealworm is the young form of a certain beetle. It wriggles and crawls through flour and other grains. All right, the leaf insects. Look at that. It's an insect that looks like a leaf. The leaf insect crawls very slowly. Its shape and color make it look like a leaf, so it is good at hiding from enemies. Leaf insects are as big as your whole hand. Mealworms and inchworms are as long as your little finger. The inchworm looks like a twig. Look, that's not actually part of the plant. That's an inchworm. Its front legs wriggle forward, and then its back legs catch up. Busy bugs. We know about these. Busy bugs. The leafcutter ant spends its time cutting pieces of leaves with its strong jaws. It then carries the leaves back to its nest. The honeybee is always busy. There is a lot to do. It collects food and looks after young bees. Honeybees and garden spiders are as big as a small coin. Leafcutter ants are as big as your thumbnail. What are these? Oh, we'll find out soon, huh? The garden spider keeps busy by building its wheel-shaped web. It catches food in the web and builds a new one every night. Every night? It builds a new web every night. He is a busy guy. Caterpillars can be as small as a dot or as long as your foot. The caterpillar is a young form of moth or butterfly. It spends all of its time munching leaves. Robber flies are the same size as your eye. The robber fly is a fast flyer. It attacks slower flying bugs in the air and holds on tight. Oh no, a cockroach. Oh, blah. Most people do not like cockroaches. I was frustrated by a cockroach last night because it kept on flying into our window. Like, the window was shut. It kept on flying into the glass and flying into the glass over and over. And I was like, there's a cockroach trying to come into our house. The cockroach has long legs, ideal for running quickly. Its flat body helps it to hide in cracks in walls and floors. This is a Bombardier beetle? Really? The bombardier beetle cannot fly, but is a fast runner. Bombardier beetles are the same size as your thumbnail. Here's a dragonfly. The dragonfly flies quickly. It can move sharply. Move sharply, stop, hover, and even fly backwards. Dragonflies are the same size as your hand. Almost, honey. The tiger beetle is one of the fastest bugs. It can crawl over the ground quickly and is also a good flyer. I call it a tiger beetle. It's funny, it has a spot. It's funny. Tiger beetles are the same size as your eye. The next question is, do you know any bouncing bugs? Do you know any bouncing bugs, Nehemiah?
Sure.
What is that?
Grasshopper.
That was the first thing I thought of too. Let's find out. Oh. Hello? Bouncing bugs. The cricket has wings, but does not always fly. Instead, its strong back legs make it a good jumper. Oh my goodness. The click beetle lies on its back and lays dead when frightened. It then bends with a loud click, jumps over in the air, and twists over.
Mom,
Yes.
can we go to your playground?
You can go over there, that's fine. Grasshoppers are as long as your little finger. Crickets are the same size as your eye. That is one funny looking thing. I have not seen its wings out like that. I don't think, maybe. The grasshopper has very strong muscles in its large back legs. It can fling itself up high in a single leap. The flea is a champion leaper. Its large back legs help it to jump up about 130 times its own height. Oh, that's awful! A flea can jump almost non-stop for 3 to 4 days. Oh, fleas are as small as a large dot. And they jump and jump and jump, and they can get all sorts of places. No wonder they're so hard to get rid of. Oh my word, it says, do you know any hairy bugs? Do you know any hairy bugs? That's a hairy bug. That is a wolf spider. Wolf spiders are the same size as your thumbnail. The wolf spider is hairy like most spiders. It doesn't have a nose, ears, or tongue, so it uses different hairs for tasting, hearing, and touching. Red velvet ants are the same size as a small coin. The red velvet ant is really a wasp covered with hair. The females don't have wings, so they run around on the ground like ants. Here's our class for the bees. Bumblebees are as long as your little finger. Oh my goodness, as long as our little finger. The bumblebee is one of the hairiest bugs. When it is feeding, the pollen from flowers sticks to its hair. Oh, dung flies. The dung fly has a hairy body and face. It also has strong bristles on its legs. Dung flies are the same size as your thumbnail. Giant bugs! Ah! Yes? Okay, I'm almost done, honey. Atlas moths are as big as 2 pages in this book. So there's a moth this big. Oh, you did. You found a sycamore. The Atlas moth is one of the largest moths and looks like a bird when flying. Oh, my sweet boy. Here we are. The Goliath bird-eating spider, as big as a dinner plate. As big as the plate your mom and dad eat off of at dinner. The Goliath bird-eater spider does not spin a web, but is the largest spider. At night, it pops out of the ground and it hunts for small mammals and birds. These are Goliath beetle. Goliath beetles are as big as your foot. The Goliath beetle is the heaviest and largest beetle. It is even a good flyer. Oh my goodness. Can you think of a story? Why do you think they call these big giant things Goliath? Can you think of a story where we've heard the name Goliath before? Do you remember how that story goes? I bet you do. Go ahead and tell your family. Can you tell your family why you think those big bugs are called Goliath bugs?